Yeah, Derek, I every time I go to a conference, I'll get at least three or four people come up to me and say, John, I have a book that I want to write, and help me, and I'll see them at the next conference, and like, they're like, yeah, I just,
Yeah. The number one fear whenever people are thinking about writing books is because they can't see the end from the beginning, they're worried if they have enough. Do they know enough? Or even just, is this even really a decent book idea? You had the really good idea. Why don't we just do an intensive 2 day retreat? And the sole purpose is to answer the question, do you have a book?
yeah, no, no, I mean, I've done a couple of retreats with you for my books. We've done two other retreats that I was involved in. I think this process that you've come up with, I'm a true believer. I've talked to a fair amount of people who've written really good books, and like, I'll never do that again. I'll never stop doing it. And I think the thing that like this workshop is, I don't know if your book's going to sell. I don't know if you have a book. You're just thinking you have a book. But what I will guarantee you, if you come to this workshop at the end of 2 days, I'm not going to answer that question for you. Derek's not going to answer that question for you. You're going to answer that question for yourself. I believe it's going to be an incredibly creative event in 2 days.
Well, and creative is the key word there. So one of the things that I've found that people have whenever approaching nonfiction, especially the kind of nonfiction that my authors usually specialize in, which is business or subject matter expertise, they approach it as a high school essay. They think you've got to know everything from the beginning. You do your research, you do the outline, and then you fill in the blanks. That's the hard approach. There is a fun way to write serious books. That's what we're doing with the Frankendraft method. We looked at a number of different places and we settled on the Atlanta Botanical Gardens. That is just gorgeous. The workspace that we're going to be in is light and airy. There's a secluded courtyard in front that we're going to do breakout sessions. We can go into different corners of the garden to do some writing on your own. It's got a world class restaurant literally next door to the meeting space. There's a couple of other snack and cafe options on site. It's just beautiful. Oh, and then in October in the evenings, we'll wrap up at 3. We'll have informal discussion until 5. And then 5 to 7, they're having Fest of Ale. So they turn the Atlanta Botanical Gardens into a beer garden. Have uh, all kinds of samples from all over the world. It's going to be a fun time, and the weather's going to be perfect.